This is Carlos from Antagonist, and these are the top albums that changed my life. I was trying to do top 5, that's impossible. Top 10, closer, but not quite there. So I have top 13, which doesn't make any sense, but it's the best I can do. I know it's not one of their albums, it's kind of, greatest hits, sort of, one of them. But it was really one of the first albums I heard, definitely one of the first punk albums I heard, and just everything about it was just fantastic. Every song was a hit, super catchy, super aggressive, super just classic timeless songs. So, one of those albums when I was first starting to play guitar and I was in my punk band when I was, 6th and 7th grade. They're one of the reasons why I wanted to play in a punk band, and I love punk rock so much. It's the time to be an android, not a man. Many of you will say that's bullshit, Deftones around the fur. You make a good argument. However, White Pony is the one that really affected me in terms of the way an album can sound. It's one of the first albums, maybe the first album, where as a guitar player, I could not get over how good the drums sounded. I just love the way the drums sound on that album. The songs are front to back, it's a perfect album, and it's the quintessential Deftones album in my opinion. You have to, sit down in a dark room and put on headphones and listen to that one and just, space out to Chino, carrying me away to dreamland. So it's a beautiful album, and it really changed my perspective on how an album could sound. Now, I saw Rosetta at the Allen Theater in Southgate many, many, many years ago. And there was probably 10 people there. And if you've been to the Allen Theater, if you got to go there back in the day, it's a giant old theater. So to have 10 people there looks even more empty than a normal venue. Not only was it one of the loudest shows I ever experienced, kind of life-changing moments where just this wall of sound, I was in awe the entire time with my eyes bug-eyed and my jaw to the floor. This sound that was coming out. Soon thereafter, they came out with their album Wake Lift, which is one of those albums where you have to listen to it from beginning to end. Just this giant monolith of sound and atmosphere, and this thing that takes over your soul, knocks you over, and you have to listen to it in that way. It's meant to be listened to all the way through. It's meant to be listened to loud, and it's meant to just take your emotions in all kinds of places. So it's just a beautiful album, and it's one of those that I still go back to this day and listen to it like it's the first time I listened to it. I remember the first time I listened to this album, I think I was in the 8th grade. There was a music store called Blockbuster Music in Whittier. It was only Blockbuster Music for a while, but the cool thing about Blockbuster Music was it was one of those places, one of the first, places around here that you could get any CD on the shelf and listen to it and preview it before you bought it. And so I did that all the time, and I got this one, and I put it on these headphones, and I cannot believe all the stuff that was going on in this album.
Hear me now. All crime should be treasured if they bring thee pleasure somehow.
I remember reading something like each song had like 40 tracks of stuff going on. The orchestration behind it, it's an epic gothic black metal, evil sounding, and a lot of people can't get past Danny Filth's vocals, but I think there's no other kind of vocals you could have for that band. I think they're perfect. I think he sounds just like this tormented vampire or something, but it fits perfectly in the operatic vocals and the keys and the strings and the guitar. Some of the best guitar work I've ever heard in the metal album, by the way. That album is so dark and so aggressive and mean. One of those albums that showed me how a song could be a story, and that includes his lyrics. It was the whole thing. It was a concept album, and it was just very involved, and just the time and effort you could tell it took to make that album. And I'm so glad it just recently was remastered and remixed. Thank God, because the drums always sounded really tin canny and just really weak. But they remastered it, and it sounds the way it should sound, and it's amazing to listen to it now with the remastered remix version. It's humongous. It's even better than it was before.